The first sip of ginger beer hits the back of your throat like a warning. That sharp, peppery heat separates it from ginger ale and makes the drink feel raw. Most people assume the burn comes from ginger root. But here is something that might surprise you. On most American ginger beer brands, ginger root is not in the ingredient list. The heat is a flavoring compound in carbonated water. One Australian brand spends 3 days fermenting real ginger with live yeast and produces a trace of alcohol before the liquid is ever called a soft drink. This is how Bundaberg turns 4 grams of raw ginger into 850 bottles per minute. In 1968, 4 members of the Fleming family bought a small bottling plant called Electra Breweries in Bundaberg, Queensland. Neville, Gladys, Cliff, and Lee. No investors, no pitch deck. A family in a sugarcane town who believed they could make a better soft drink than anything on the shelf. Bundaberg sits in tropical Queensland, the same red volcanic soil that grows cane and macadamia. The Flemings decided to use local ginger root, not extract, not imported powder, but root pulled from fields a few kilometers from the bottling floor. And instead of mixing syrup with carbonated water like every other soft drink maker in Australia, they chose to brew. Live yeast consuming real sugar over real time. It cost more, it took longer, but the flavor had depth that mixed drinks could not reach. In 1995, they renamed the company Bundaberg Brewed Drinks. The slogan was not crafted with passion. It was brewed to be better. A plain mechanical claim. We brew it, so it tastes better. That was the entire argument. Locals in Queensland drank it straight from the stubby glass bottle on hot afternoons. But outside that region, almost nobody knew Bundaberg existed. The ginger beer was ready, the market was not. So if the Flemings chose to brew when every competitor chose to mix, what does brewing actually require from a root that is 90% water? 5 steps, 3 days, and a chain of chemical changes that no flavoring shortcut can replicate. Step 1. Drying and milling. Fresh ginger arrives with 85 to 90% moisture. It enters a drying chamber for 24 hours. Heat pulls moisture below 10%, but it also triggers a reaction between sugars and amino acids inside the root, producing caramel and toffee notes that do not exist in raw ginger. This is not added flavoring. It is the same browning reaction that gives bread crust and roasted coffee their depth. Skip this step and the ginger beer tastes flat. After drying, the root is milled to release essential oils. Step 2. Brewing the wort. Ginger powder, Queensland cane sugar, and water combine into a wort. The mixture is heated to extract flavor compounds and break starch into fermentable sugars. Too low a temperature or too short a time and the yeast will have nothing to consume. Step 3. Fermentation. A proprietary yeast strain goes in. This is where Bundaberg guards its process most tightly. In factory tour footage, when a visitor asked what type of yeast they use, the employee paused and said, "I would have to check if I am allowed to say that. Sorry." The yeast feeds on sugar for 3 days, producing flavor compounds, the signature ginger heat, and alcohol under 0.5%, below the legal threshold for non-alcoholic beverages in Australia. After fermentation, the liquid is pasteurized to kill the yeast. But the ginger does not vanish. Fine particles settle to the bottom. That sediment you notice at the bottom of a Bundaberg bottle is real ginger from this step. The company tells drinkers to flip the bottle upside down before opening. That is not a gimmick. It redistributes the solids so every sip carries the same weight. Step 4. Filtration. The brew is filtered, but not stripped clean. Small ginger fragments stay in for texture. Too aggressive and the drink loses body. Too loose and it turns heavy and cloudy. The result is a concentrate stored in tanks holding 18,000 to 48,000 liters. Step 5. Blending and bottling. Concentrate meets water, sugar, and citric acid. A final filtration. Carbon dioxide is injected mechanically. The carbonation is not a byproduct of fermentation. 7 kilometers of stainless steel piping carry the liquid to the bottling line. Rinse, fill, seal, X-ray, label, pack. 850 bottles per minute. All of that. 24 hours of drying, 3 days of fermentation, tanks the size of small pools. So 4 grams of ginger produce the same burn in every bottle. Now place that process next to what most Americans pour into a Moscow Mule. Pick up a standard ginger beer from the grocery shelf and read the back. Carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, citric acid, natural flavors, no ginger root, no yeast, no fermentation. The product was assembled in minutes, syrup, water, gas, and sent to a canning line. The burn is a flavoring compound engineered to mimic ginger heat. Now consider timing. Kombucha became a mainstream American trend around 2010. Fermented tea, live cultures, premium prices for drinks made with living organisms. Bundaberg has been fermenting with live yeast since 1968, more than 4 decades before fermentation became a wellness buzzword. Same principle, yeast plus sugar plus time, different bottle, different decade. Then the easy version of the story breaks. Everything about Bundaberg looks small. Stubby glass bottle, pull tab cap, family name on the label. A town most Americans cannot locate on a map. The reality, 100 million bottles per year, 1 million liters per day, 60 countries. In 2018, a distribution deal with PepsiCo placed Bundaberg in more than 400,000 American retail locations. The master brewery, completed in 2023, runs 7 kilometers of stainless steel piping. But still 3 days per batch. Still the Fleming family. Still the same postal code. Whether that makes Bundaberg a craft brand at industrial scale or an industrial operation in craft packaging depends on what the word craft means to the person holding the bottle. Next time you pick up any ginger beer, flip it to the back label. Look for 2 words. First, yeast. If yeast appears, the drink was fermented. If absent, it was mixed, no matter what the front says. Second, ginger root. Not natural ginger flavor. Ginger root. If the list says natural flavors without naming the plant, the burn in your throat was designed in a lab. Sediment at the bottom is not a defect. It is ginger that settled out of suspension, evidence of brewing. Flip the bottle before you open it. One caveat, each 375 milliliter bottle has 170 kilocalories and nearly 40 grams of sugar. This is not a health drink. It is a soft drink that knows what it is. In Australia, people drink Bundaberg straight from the bottle on a weekday afternoon. In America, most people encounter it poured over vodka in a copper mug. Same liquid. 2 different relationships. The difference between mixed and brewed is not marketing. It is 3 days, 4 grams of ginger, and a yeast strain that the people who use it every day are not permitted to name. Next time you pour ginger beer into a copper mug, look at the bottom of the bottle first. If nothing settled there, nothing was ever brewed. That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. The next ordinary thing is usually hiding in plain sight. Until then, trust the process.